CTV stream, where have you gone? There you go. Ready? Oh. At the end of this, I was just going to do like
This is KC Sports Tonight.
Hey, everybody. Welcome to Monday. It's KC Sports Tonight, streaming edition. Scott Reiss, Marleah Campbell, both back from vacation, at least.
It's been a while since we've both been in these chairs.
Yeah. Big vacation for me, mini vacation for you. You rested, relaxed?
Something like that. I when I say I just got back to the station, maybe pulled in about 5 minutes ago. I was at the Royals in the clubhouse. We're going to talk about that in a little bit here, but man,
That's not vacation.
Yeah, no, that part was not vacation. If you're listening to this on the way to the K, though, I would recommend water and any kind of cooling mechanism you have, because it's a hot one out there.
You know what we need? We need like a breaking news banner so that you can come on camera
outside.
and say it's really hot
really
outside.
hot out
This
there.
just in.
Yeah. But no, other than that, feeling super rested. Had time with my family for the last couple of days. I think I was off Thursday, Friday. I know you were off the whole week, so
I was
back at it.
I was, yeah.
Nature of the beast in the summer, I
was
suppose.
hanging with my family. I'm gonna give you a little more headroom there, just so you know. There we go.
Beautiful.
Yeah, maybe that's a little too much headroom. No, that's right.
That's not enough.
This is what's fun about.
there
Whoa!
you
Now
go.
you're. I
Now we
really.
found a
I
sweet
so
spot.
should never have messed with this.
It's like truly only getting worse.
It is only getting worse. Nope. I'm going to get this right. This is good audio right
Good
here.
enough. There we
Maybe
go.
I'm not going to get it right. Okay. Anyway. Hey, there we are.
Okay, great.
All that for 1 inch of headroom. But this is a visual medium, unless you're listening to the podcast,
And
in
then
which
you're like,
case
what
it's
is happening?
not a visual medium. Just picture Marleah kind of like a bobblehead, her going up and down and up and down, and you'll
You get the gist.
You get the idea. No, I was with my family in L.A. That was nice. Went to the Angels-Brewers game on Wednesday night, so that was fun. See a new ballpark, and 2-0 baseball for 9 innings. Good times. But yeah, you mentioned the Royals, which is where we begin today.
Yes.
If you are a Royal fan, this is also not breaking news. Things not going well the last 3 weeks.
Yeah.
June's been kind of a disaster. They're bottom 5 in the major leagues in batting average, in OPS, in runs scored, in home runs in the month of June, and the corresponding 7-12, I believe, record to go with it, maybe 7-13 now. That's not good. Now, here's the silver lining. They probably just completed their most brutal part of the 2024 schedule with the 4 straight series against division leaders with Dodgers, Yankees, Guardians, Mariners, and then follow that up with a 9-day road trip, which they just completed. So now the schedule gets easier. You have a home-heavy schedule starting with both of those things tonight as you get the Marlins in town for 3. So, Marleah, there is an obvious chance for them to right the ship, but right now it's not going well.
Yeah, I think back to, what was it, late May 25th. Royals were 15 games over 500, and we were like, all right, we're into late May, and we're talking about 15 games over 500. They're 8-18 since, and there's the asterisk that you mentioned of they had a really, really tough schedule. They were 1-2 against the A's, and then they got swept last series, their first losing sweep of the year. So I think the Marlins is kind of the, now is the time to turn this thing around. I mean, you can't keep kind of, against the A's, it was kind of like, okay, well, the A's are terrible. It'd be nice to get back on track here. Didn't do that. Next series didn't do that. So tonight, back at home, you got a 10-game series in 11 days at Kauffman Stadium. Big one against the Guardians later in the week. Absolutely massive. 7 games out of first place in the AL Central there. Guardians have a really tough stretch coming up here soon. It'd be nice to see kind of the Royals that we've been accustomed to in the short-term recent future as opposed to the last decade. I think we're getting a look at that right now.
Yeah, the Marlins are they're reeling for different reasons. The Marlins do not have a single member of what would be their ideal starting rotation.
Did you intend that pun, reeling?
Reeling, Marlins reeling. That was pretty good.
Did you
Reeling,
do that
Marlins.
on purpose?
I didn't. That was
okay, wow. Well, that was great.
I wish I could take credit for that.
You should have.
But I
Because
can't.
then I went back to like, wow, Royals reeling. He really went into the pun.
No,
Okay,
not even a little. No, of the 5 guys that they would have in their starting rotation, if all their options were available, 4 are injured, and not just short term, like long term, out for season injured. And the 5th, inexplicably, Max Meyer, who was their best starter the first 3 weeks of the season, is in the minors because they want to limit his innings. So even though they have nobody else to pitch, they're keeping him at AAA and having him throw 3 innings a week. So I guess it's a lost season. It is what it is. But anyway, that's not the Royals' concern. They need to start hitting. This is an opportunity for them to start hitting. I guess the other silver lining here, Marleah, is even during this bad stretch of baseball, the pitching, while it has regressed a bit, which there was nowhere to go but down, it was so good the first month and a half, it's still been pretty good. And even with all this losing in June, the starting rotation has remained good.
Yeah.
Day in and day out, for the most part, they're keeping them in ball games. The bullpen has been uneven. They've stumbled at times, and they're just not hitting, and therefore they're losing. But if the pitching remains strong, then it's just a question of, okay, can we get the bats to wake up? Maybe that starts tonight.
Yeah, I think, you mentioned silver lining. I'm probably jumping ahead to our next bullet point, but Michael Massey going to be back in action tonight after I think he's been sitting for, 6 weeks or so?
About a month, yeah.
Yeah, with
I'll jump with you. We can just roll right into
with a bit of a back issue, which those are really, really tricky, and those can nag. Massey's used to it. He's been dealing with this since college, kind of in spurts, coming on and off. And I was talking to him in the clubhouse today, and he was saying, it was actually a little bit worse than we thought. Like, when I first went on IL and kind of got sent down to my rehab assignment. So you'll just see him in a, you're not going to see him on defense today. He said kind of that flexion motion is still really bothering him. So kind of a DH duties for the next, I would imagine a good chunk of this series, if not all of it. But still good to see him back because he was a key piece of this offense and defense. He was playing really well in the first stretch of the season. Now it's just going to be kind of that delicate game of keeping him in action, getting him back into the rhythm of things without re-aggravating that back, because that is really easy to do.
Back injuries are tricky. This was, I don't want to say a panic move, but the decision to bring him back today was largely because Adam Frazier sprained his thumb. He is on the injured list, and they needed somebody who could play second base and give him something offensively. And apparently there were no other options they felt could be a placeholder for the next 2, 3, 5, however many days until Massey was 100%. They decided, you know what, let's just get him out here. He'll DH and he'll be okay. Hopefully, again, like you say, that doesn't backfire because back injuries are tricky, and the last thing you want to do is to lose him for another month.
Right.
He was really starting to swing the bat well just before his injury, so they need his bat in the middle of that lineup in the 5-hole, presumably. But Frazier on the injured list, not the only move. And when I saw this, I saw the headline quickly, and I saw Royals sending Velazquez to AAA. At first, I thought I read Melendez, and I thought, wow.
Yeah.
And look, MJ's under the Mendoza line.
Yeah,
it wouldn't be the craziest thing in the world. But no, it's not MJ Melendez.
Today, though.
That's true. It is Nelson Velazquez, who does have a couple of walk-off hits in the not-so-distant past. But he's hitting 200. Got the 8 homers, which is fine, but 200 average. The strikeouts, 61's a big number. They're actually down. He's striking out less this year than he did last year, but it's not helping him batting average-wise. So they're going to give him some time at AAA. Hopefully he can rediscover that magic he had at the end of last season when it seemed like he was hitting a home run every other day. And they've called up a kid named C.J. Alexander, who will be making his major league debut tonight, batting in the 8-hole. And you talked to him in the clubhouse.
Yeah, I did.
I'm guessing he's a relatively excited young man.
He is. And, his brother, Blaze.
Yes, Diamondbacks.
Yep, yeah. So he was talking a lot about that and how he's kind of, this is a family tradition. So getting to kind of get his call up to the big leagues and get to do the things that several members in his family actually have done was really exciting for him. And, it's funny. He said he had a bit of I think he described it as like a blow up after a mistake in the minors. And he gets a call from the Royals, and he's kind of thinking it's going to be, okay, maybe don't do that again. And he's on the phone. He understands why he gets called in. And then he hears him say, you know what, we really don't want you to do that again when you start at third base tomorrow. And it was like,
in the big
when
leagues.
I what? Yeah. Yeah, for the
That's
Royals at the
great.
K.
That's great.
So that's kind of how he found out. And, as it goes, packed up really quick, headed up here. He'll start at third base today. So he's really excited. You could tell he had a little bit of nerves. He said he's feeling them, but those will kind of go away, when you get up to the plate. But he also said...
Maybe.
Well, yeah, I guess we'll find out. He said his brother gave him a piece of advice when he gets up to the plate today, which is don't put all your eggs in the basket of the first at bat. If it doesn't go well, that's fine. You'll get several more because that moment can be really overwhelming. But a cool moment for him and obviously for his family. They're off today. Blaze isn't playing today, but he said he couldn't make it down to Kansas City. But his family will be here. He said his mom, dad, girlfriend, and maybe a cousin. So it'll be nice to have his family at the K today.
Hey, we'll take all the fans we can get for game one of this 3-game series with the Marlins. And Alexander, look, he earned it. I mean, this wasn't just they needed a body promotion. He's hitting 325 at AAA with pop. And at this point, if you're hitting 300 in the minors and you got some pop in your bat, the Royals are going to say, you know what, you're going to get a shot because this team has to hit more. So maybe he provides a spark, and we'll see. He was one of the, if memory serves, he was one of the guys they got from the Braves a couple of years ago, along with Drew Waters. I think it was the same trade when they traded like the number 35 pick to the Braves, and they got bodies, and that was part of it. So anyway, he's here tonight. We'll see how he does tonight on the 10 o'clock news. We'll be monitoring C.J. Alexander. Yeah, I mean, look, this is a situation partially. I say it's not; these aren't panic moves, but the Royals understand A, things aren't going well. You got to shake things up, and B, they're still a playoff team as of this moment, right? So you have to. This is not. It's not like the Marlins. It's not like the White Sox. It's not a team that's that's hopeless. It's not like the Royals of a year ago, where it's like, well, we're going to do what we want. We're going to. It's a valuation period. We're playing for the future. No, you got a chance to win. This is an opportunity. You're home for 10 games. You got the Marlins for 3. You go 7-3 on this 10-game homestand, and all of a sudden you're feeling really good again. So this is an opportunity, and I think the team recognizes they gotta shake things up a little bit.
Yep. Yeah. What's the saying? Definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting different results. So gotta shake things up a little bit.
Bring water again.
For the love of everything good, bring water. I was outside for like 5 minutes, and it literally feels like a sauna. It's like jarring. Anyway, about the weather. This isn't a weather show. We have a weather show coming up at 6:30.
We do.
It is jarringly hot, though.
Yes. So let me check something really quick. Oh, that's what I did. So I'm going to change this on the fly because it just bothers me so much.
Oh, I'm excited.
And you will see our next topic, which is not the sporting had nothing to do with the Buffalo Bills.
I was eyeing that one.
But in fact, that's what it's going to look like now. And
beautiful.
Yes, Bills becomes Bliss, which
that would be much more interesting if
it would be much more
Sporting
interesting.
and the Bills were somehow related in the first place.
Although this way is a lot more ironic because Bliss is the last thing going on in that compound right now. With Sporting KC, they got drilled over the weekend by Austin 4-0.
Didn't get a shot on goal.
I mean, are you kidding?
It was
not a shot on goal.
Yeah. Bad.
So there's still 90 minutes, right?
Bad. Right. Unless they change things in the last week or so. But no, it's and this is becoming a, I think, so last season we talk a lot about how last season the team started unbeaten through the first, or only beaten, what's the word I'm looking for?
Last season?
Yeah. Beaten, I guess. Winless.
That's
the word I'm looking for. There it is. Winless through the first 10 games of the season.
Right. And now
and then they flipped things around. So this season, when they started badly, we were kind of like, okay, well, maybe this is kind of their shtick now, because they made the playoffs last season. The first team to ever go winless through 10 games, then make the playoffs.
Right.
We're deeper than that at this point. And it seems to just be kind of like digressing. I mean, they're really, really struggling. The 4-0 loss with no shots on goal is tough. The attitude around there is not great. I mean, a couple weeks ago we were talking about how Peter Vermees was frustrated with the effort level among players and how he was willing to shake things up when it came to starting rotations and everything. So, and now this is kind of the latest, domino to fall in terms of this Sporting and Bliss.
Yeah, to be clear, we didn't because I was fumbling with the font here. It is
We didn't say
Brian.
anything.
It is Brian Bliss, the
Yeah.
technical director
Yeah.
of Sporting. He and the team, a mutual parting of the ways. So you can read into that as you will. But this is like number 2 under Peter for me. So this is a significant piece of the management puzzle. Who is not there anymore, and I don't know. I mean, do you get the sense this is a fall guy thing, or do you get the sense that again, it's hard to read into what's going wrong, but clearly there are problems.
Yeah, and we'll never know the behind the scenes of, was it actually mutual? Does he have another opportunity lined up? We just don't know. It's kind of similar when, Camille Ashton announced her resignation. Excuse me, I think I messed that up. Of being the GM of the Current, then she landed with a wave a little bit later. We had no idea that was coming. So there's things we don't know, but I tend to lean towards the conversation we had a second ago about the definition of insanity is doing the same things over and over again and expecting a different result. Something had to change in the Sporting locker room. Maybe this was the move they're hoping changes things. If not, I'll be curious how the next couple weeks go, because it feels like things are coming to a head.
It does. You hope that this was rock bottom. You know,
Yeah.
a 4-0 loss with no shots on goal. I don't expect it gets much worse than that. But this has been a problem for months. This is
Yeah.
not a bump in the road. This is a problem, and it started in April with giving away late leads, but that's no longer. This has just become flat out inability to win soccer matches on a regular basis. One MLS win in 3 months, obviously not going to cut it. They have won both of their Open Cup matches, so if nothing else, they'll have that to play for in the next round in July. But that's, I think, of little solace at this point to the franchise. By the way, not on the rundown there, but I think we're still allowed to mention the Casey Current. We do make the rules here. If I want to spell things wrong, I will spell things wrong. Casey Current, another convincing win.
Yeah.
I mean,
really a tale of two
it
very
just
different
couldn't
stories.
be
Could
more,
not be more
right?
different.
Yeah.
And in the parallels of the offseason, Sporting brought a lot of their roster back from a playoff qualifying team. The Current didn't make the playoffs, did a total roster flip, and now here they are, unbeaten through, 14 games?
Yeah, no, it's crazy.
I saw something where they had the most goals through 14 games in NWSL history. I mean, this is a powerhouse, fun team to watch. So we still have good soccer in Kansas City. We got Copa coming to town tomorrow. A lot to look forward to, but certainly Sporting is kind of the bummer of the group.
I believe
the soccer capital of America.
I believe 14 games is the official halfway mark of the MLS season. So they've gone half their season without a loss.
NWSL, yeah.
That's clean living right there.
Yep.
And then they have one more match, I believe, this weekend before Orlando comes to town on July 6th. The battle of the best, right?
Mm-hmm.
I admit I did not check the result. Did Orlando win or lose or draw? I didn't check their result from this past weekend, but assuming they didn't lose, they're also undefeated. So if you want to check the phone,
That sounds easy. Here we go.
Check Orlando's women's NWSL team and see if they're still unbeaten. Because that would give us.
They won
in
a very dramatic fashion, 6-0.
Okay, well, there you go. 6-0, but that tells you what we're dealing with. You're dealing with two insanely
Offensive
good
powerhouses.
offensive teams, and they're going to meet up at CPKC Stadium on July 6th. It's going to be awesome.
That'll be a fun one.
That'll be a fun one. Okay, speaking of fun, decided to mix things up a little bit here today, and figure out how. There we are. Someday I will get this whole system down,
It's
and
like
I'll
flying
be
an
able to.
airplane.
It's like flying an airplane, and I have not had sufficient training to do either of these things. But I figured since it's a gazillion degrees out, and everybody's hopefully enjoying summer. Kids are out from school, probably trying to figure out what to do with themselves. I know mine are. As someone who has lived here her entire life, basically. Mm-hmm. I want to know what is the best thing about summer in the Kansas City area, especially when it's 100 degrees and going outside is not always what you want to do.
Yeah, there's a lot. I mean,
but that's it.
Barring the weather, I was going to say, I grew up going to games at the K, especially, they used to combine, I'm going to go on a mini tangent here, they used to combine Buck Night at the K with fireworks night, Friday fireworks in the summers. That's gone now, so they separate them. So Buck Night's usually on Tuesday, and then they have fireworks on Friday. I digress.
Isn't it $2 a night now?
Is it? Wow. Yeah.
We'll have to get back on that. I thought it was $2
$2
dogs.
just doesn't have the same ring to it.
No,
but,
it sure doesn't.
Yeah, I grew up going to a lot of Friday night games at the K. If you stick around for after the game, they have fireworks after, and they're fantastic. So summer fireworks is definitely up there for me. For folks that live in Lenexa, they recently redid the pool. If we're looking for something cooler, Indian Trails Pool now has a lazy river.
Ooh,
so
I like me
that's
some lazy
fantastic.
river.
It's wonderful. Those are probably my big two. I mean, the K was definitely one. In my, when I get to come home for 6 weeks over the summer in college, and I would be working out like 99% of the time. So I don't really have like any like things I did as an adult other than maybe going to the K. But the pool, Royals baseball, and now that Royals baseball is excluding the last 2-3 weeks. Good.
Yeah, right.
It makes it even more fun because I was going to those games when they were terrible and I didn't even care just because it's kind of the atmosphere and the fireworks. But now we could be talking about playoff baseball.
So you're going to think I'm crazy, and I can contribute very little to this conversation, seeing as I've lived here 18 months. But I am such a huge fan of warm nights that in the evening, I love this weather. Like coming from California, where even over the summer, you get a lot of nights where you got to wear a jacket, you got to wear jeans, you got to wear, you got to bundle up a little bit, especially in San Francisco. I mean, you're freezing your behind off at Giants games in July, night games. I love shorts and T-shirts weather at night, so I enjoy the nighttime opportunities here, and you can be at a baseball game in those clothes.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
I can be on my porch in shorts and a T-shirt and enjoy it.
I'll add another perk of KC summers. I went to college in Wyoming, and then lived in Topeka for 4 years. But my favorite thing about Kansas City, and I guess we probably had this in Topeka, but not that I noticed, was the cicadas. Have you heard the cicadas yet?
Yes.
Lovely. This is probably a hot take, but I love the sound of cicadas.
That's definitely a
at night,
hot take because I hear a lot of complaints.
Yeah, it's just, I'm sure like in practicality, I don't know much about the species, but I'm sure they're not convenient to have in your backyard. But for me, it's kind of it gives me a lot of nostalgia hearing that in the summer. So I guess my answer is Friday night fireworks, the pool in Lenexa, and cicadas.
All right, so
Do you have a bug of choice?
Do I have a bug of choice? I do not have a bug of choice. But I noticed there's no where's the summer kind of outdoor hotspots? If I want to be out at night, I'm thinking, P&L and things about where you're like.
The Power and Light does a really fun Hot Country Nights series where I think it's every Thursday, but definitely look that up, where they bring in a different country artist, and that's a lot of fun.
I'm asking you to be Chamber of Commerce now, like the Visitors Bureau for those who are, hey, come to Kansas City. Here's what you want to do during June night.
Power and Light is a lot of fun if you're in the metro kind of area. Sound Bites is a little concert series in Lenexa on Friday nights. That's a lot of fun. They bring in local bands. You mentioned Power and Light. I was at a concert there on Saturday night. Quick anecdote I'll end with. I saw Quinn 92, who I've been a fan of for a long time. He was wearing a Sporting KC jersey,
nice.
A custom Sporting jersey.
Nice.
And as I noticed that, the first second I'm like, oh, okay, he's wearing a Sporting jersey. I get a press release email. Sporting loses 4-0. And I was like, well.
And then he ripped it off.
That's all right. Yeah.
Obviously, he didn't get the press release. So
so lots of good concerts. Hot Country Nights is a lot of fun. I know we have folks at KCTV5 emceeing that, so you can see some of our folks up on stage there. But yeah, lots to do here.
And lots of food trucks in the summer as well.
Food trucks. Good time to throw out the Nelson Atkins Museum is free. Parking's $14 if you want to stay in the garage, but you can get street parking pretty easily. And that's like an air-conditioned opportunity to go do something. And they do free yoga on the lawn at 11 a.m. every Sunday there outside of the Nelson. And you can catch me there most days.
Boy, added perk. Okay.
Yeah. That's
all
a
right.
real seller.
So there you go. Summer in Kansas City. Well, we'll do this again tomorrow. And we will have some more data on the Kansas City Royals after Game 1 against the Marlins. And maybe our guy C.J. Alexander hits 3 home runs. And
knocking on wood. This is plastic.
Becomes the next big thing in Kansas City.
Yeah.
Cool. Check us out every day on the app, Monday through Friday. And you can always catch the stream after the fact wherever you get your favorite podcasts. All right. Signing off. I'll see you on the 6 o'clock news. Bye, all.